Gita, and then we get started. How many of you have been in any ISKCON program before? One, two. Okay. So, rest everyone, I am assuming that is the first time ever in any ISKCON program?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So, welcome all of you to a new journey. And I hope that it is very interesting. So, we'll just sing for maybe for 4 or 5 minutes and then we'll get started. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming this first session of Gita course, which is Secret of Happiness. So before we start the session, I'll just give a brief introduction about our speaker. So His Grace Madhukant Prabhuji. So Prabhuji is actually materially, he is as a profession, he is a medical practitioner and he is a vice president in one of the very renowned pharmaceutical company. And he serving in ISKCON from more than a decade, and he's acting as a life coach and mentor and guiding lot of families in their spiritual life. So Prabhuji is very dedicatedly practicing this Krishna consciousness and ISKCON and helping people to advance in their spiritual life. So we'll just chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra for and welcoming our Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Please come a little forward.
So all the Matajis can sit on this side and ladies can sit on one side and gents can sit. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So we are very happy and excited to see so many people in Bangalore on a Sunday evening when this India-Pakistan match is going on. So I had my own apprehensions. I think either people are losing interest in cricket or we are doing a really good job. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so in next 40 minutes, we'll just take one topic today. And we'll also try to brief you that what all this entire course is about, what all you will go through in the entire next 9 seasons, 9 sessions. You know, we have been doing it for quite some time now. I think a lot of most of the volunteers which you see here right now, they are all part of the previous batches somewhere. And I'm also one of those in my college, in medical college. That time I came in contact with this one. So before we go to the topic, we'll just quickly. I will just chant few basic mantras which we always do before we start this course or discussion. These prayers are nothing but our humble prayers to the spiritual masters and the Lord, that the service which we are trying to do, we are able to achieve our goal, which is nothing but to serve other people, other devotees, and make them equipped to become better devotees in their own spiritual life. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं गुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदामयं ददाति स्वपदान्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवं च श्रीगुरु सादरं सर्वदूतं सर्वं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्त। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So these are some basic house rules. So ISKCON has been established by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we pray to Srila Prabhupada that he empowers us to follow our spiritual journey. So before we go to the details, just a brief that what this whole course is about. So in this course we will be having altogether 9 topics. This course is designed to give you an overview of Bhagavad Gita. This course is not designed to go into the deeper layers of Bhagavad Gita, but give you an overall aspect of spirituality, the core components of spirituality, and how what is the interlink between the spiritual life and the material life, how you can balance that, and how you can rightly execute certain basic principles of spiritual life. Yeah. So once those who complete these 9 sessions, afterwards there are a couple of batches. What more we have, we call it a Bhakti Vriksha batches, where people go and they more detail, more systematically they continue this once a week journey to understand the spiritual aspects and become more serious around the spiritual practices where So there's one announcement. There's a kids program is also there. Some of the devotees, or upstairs some ladies, Mataris are there, and they are doing some activities for the kids. So if kids want to join there, they can go there. So there are some other kids are there, and if they want to join, at the end of the program, we'll call all those kids. They will recite some shlokas or something. It will be interesting for them also to learn. So if somebody, so all the kids who want to join this, it's on the 4th floor, next floor. Mataji is there. They can assist them to reach them. Okay. So we're just talking that. So these 9 sessions will try to cover the basics, and then later on, those who want to continue, they can join one of those groups, and then they can deep dive into some different aspects of Bhagavad Gita. So these 9 topics are, and where especially today we are primarily we want to talk about the happiness. And usually when we conduct these courses, we try that if we can make it more interactive than unilateral discussion and one person is giving gyan and other is listening and somebody in the back dozing off and somebody thinking prasad kab hoga. So yeah, so it happened with me once. So we had one college program in Ahmedabad some few years back, and then the youth have a different sort of energy. And a lot of discussion was happening, and the program got extended for half an hour. In that, usually we keep a question and Q&A question and answer at the end of the day. A lot of people are asking some question and all. We were almost 40 minutes above, and then somebody raised the hand, and I asked that, will we have a question? And then yes, to the Prashad ka hoga. So then I realized 40 minutes ago, so we just need to be a bit more careful. Okay, so before we go to more into the details, I just have one basic question from the audience. How you define happiness? So see, like, let's say that we are. Let's keep the core Bhagavad Gita and spirituality per se part aside for a few minutes, okay? Yeah. So you are in ISKCON, obviously we'll come to that, correct? That is obvious. Yeah. But let's keep it aside for a few minutes. But let's try to understand how we define happiness. From gents, anybody? Satisfaction, okay?
When we are in present.
Sorry?
Present, when we are in present. Not about
When we are in present, yeah, that is also a very logical thing. Yeah. Anybody from Mataji?
When we are healthy and
When we are healthy and wealthy. Yeah, see, that Mataji are very practical. They don't go in unnecessary gyan and all. Healthy, paisa and health.
Pleasant state of mind.
peace.
Pleasant
Peace
state
of mind.
Peace of mind.
Any movement which I want to live longer.
Any movement which I want to live longer, yes, okay.
Not to struggle.
We achieve what we have planned.
We achieve what we have planned, yes, okay.
Not to struggle to do anything.
We achieve what, not struggling, yeah, yes. Okay. Very interesting. I work with a lot of data. Although I'm a doctor, but I work with a lot of data, so it's my psychology to trend the data. Okay, so I'm finding some trend I will share with you. Yeah. Anybody else?
Small gestures.
Who is that? Yeah.
Small gestures which make other people feel happy.
Yeah, philosophically, yes. Like, I mean, I like Mataji's answers.
Give happiness to others, automatically you will get happiness.
Yeah, it is 60 plus answer. Yes. Anything else?
Both basically, I think pleasantness of
Sorry.
How we take.
Depending upon the mindset also. Yes.
pleasantness of
Somebody's toothache is happiness for a dentist. Correct? Somebody's pain is somebody's gain. Yes.
I think it's pleasantness of both physical and mental state.
Yeah. So physical and mental balance. Somebody called peace also.
And it's very subjective, as in it differs from every human.
It's very subjective. Happiness is a subjective matter. Yeah. How when you are happy? It's okay, yes. There are a couple of people. Yes. From Mataji, nobody is happy. There are a couple of them. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's dissect the question a bit more. In 24 hours, in your cycle of 24 hours, how much time you are happy, usually? And what is the answer?
While sleep time.
8 hours.
When you're in office? Or when you're asleep? Sorry?
Yeah, when we are having a sound sleep. Sound sleep.
Yes. I am usually very happy that time. Yeah. Okay, but in general, yes, out of So question is, in 24 hours, how many hours we are happy?
Depends on the situation. Maximum hours.
Maximum?
Maximum hours.
Maximum hours, yes.
It depends on the situation.
Situation. What situation?
Like if your baby is born, maybe 24 hours you are happy. If you lose a relative, 24 hours you are sad. It depends on the situation.
That's true.
Yeah, when there is an exam for students, yeah, so then, yeah, or when people face audits in the corporate, the situation is different, yes. Or when there is a quarrel at home, then, how many of you are married? Okay, how many of you are not married? Sorry. Okay, it's equal proportion. Nice. Okay, so ask the married guys, how many times they are. Okay. So see, I just observed one thing, and it is very common. A lot of time I observe this thing. So most of the answers when we give, when we talk about the happiness, see what is the trend? And it's this peace, yes? Not to struggle, yes? Or I need to have some wealth and a good health, yes? So these are like related to this. They are questions, yes? So if you look at the common part in this answer, what is that? So when we think about the happiness, we try to just we just try to pinpoint on a certain thing which we aspire, if I put it very simply. Correct? Which also means that which I don't have. Yes? So if I put very clearly to you, in general, all of us, yes, are defining not happiness. Okay? We define happiness as the absence of problems. Problems नहीं है तो मैं खुश हूँ. This is how we define. Struggle नहीं है तो मैं खुश हूँ. Health खराब नहीं है तो मैं खुश हूँ. अगर if you are, please don't, I'm from north, so Hindi is natural in body, so it will come out sometime. Yeah. So if I'm not under, poverty, I'm okay. Yes? If I don't have stress, I'm in peace. So we define absence of stress or absence of problems as our happiness. Why? Because most of the time we are in troubles. Some sort of troubles. Yes? We will discuss in some future classes that how we define the troubles and how we pursue the troubles. But just to give you a very glimpse, like what is our scripture says, although it is not part of our agenda, but yeah, so in our scriptures it is written that irrespective of whatever condition you are in your life, so whether you are living in the world of billionaires and millionaires, or if you are living in a very non-cash rich life, there are 7 problems which everybody faces. There are 7 problems which is bound to happen in every single human being who is on this earth. Okay? And because of these 7 problems, which is so fixed, we define our happiness in the absence of any of these things. So these 7 problems are told Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So these are first 4. So Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, this is birth, death, old age and disease. These are first 4 problems which everybody has. Okay? So say birth itself is not a very pleasant experience for a child. Yes, it is a very painful process. Yeah. So somebody may argue, I was very small, my consciousness was not that developed. So how it is a problem for me now? We need to understand that, for example, when you were, or when I was, say, 5-year-old, and that time if I had say abdominal ache, yeah, or maybe I had some injury, being a kid, I was running here and there, I fell down and there was injury. Yeah, and due course of time that injury got healed up. Okay? Which I today don't understand or don't recall or don't feel that. That doesn't mean that time I was not suffering. It was me only who was suffering that time, correct? Yeah, so since because we have forgotten that how painful it was to be, in an embryo stage, for 9 months, how difficult it was. Now you cannot sit for 15-20 minutes, in the embryo stage, and that time for 9 months there, and then for you only, it was me only, yes, there. Although we have forgotten, that's fine, but ultimately it was we who were suffering. That's why I call it birth is a suffering. So the entire process is very painful. Yeah, and death is no brainer. Everyone understand that the whole world is trying to fight against the moment which will bound to happen. Disease is understandable. Yes, now people understand even more. Yes, post-COVID. Yes, that what all technological advancements you do, whatever you want to claim yourself and try to fly from here and there. But disease can really put the entire thing, they can shut it down and thing, whether it is business or people's life or lot of things. Yes, yes. And old age itself is understandable. Nobody wants to become old. Yes, nobody wants to become old. Yes, fundamentally. Yes, that's why there is so much of commercialization around the anti-aging. Yes, you do a lot of anti-aging, but it will happen. Yes. So these are the four fundamental problems which is, you may be a Steve Jobs of world, or you may be a normal person living in Bangalore. These four things are bound to happen. Yeah. And then it is taught, it has been said that there are three other problems. One is called, there are some Sanskrit terms, but I will just try to translate it. One is the problems called by nature. Everybody faces that. Yeah? So, either heat or cold, too heat, too much of rain. Natural calamities, lot of time, that comes in. It happens. Yes? And what you do? Yes? So say for example, you are four friends, or three friends, three boys. Yes? Want to go from here to say 2 kilometers away, there is some shop. You have to go there. What you will do? You have one bike. What you will do? What you will do?
Sure.
You adjust, correct? Two-seater, three people will adjust, correct? You have choice. If you have to go in two-seater, sometimes 3, 4, even 5 can adjust, correct? And some other will reach there, correct? Because there is no option, yes? Yes, so likewise they adjust. When the no choice is given, then we adjust. If there is too much of rain, what to do? To adjust. If there is a COVID, what to do? To adjust. Somehow other figure out some way. It is not willful. Yes? Yeah, 15 minutes in others ke baad lagta hai we stop, correct? But sometimes it continues for 2-3 days and all. And so these natural calamities happen. The problem because of the nature it happens. Yes? The next one is very interesting one. That it is written in our Shastra so interestingly. There will be one person in your life which will always give you trouble. So interesting, so smart, yes? It is written. It is written in our Shastra. There is one person. Koi ho sakta hai. You can find out, you can think to, I will give you 30 seconds, you will find that person in your brain. Oh yeah, this is the person. Yeah, so it is given. But there will be some, the world is designed like that, there will be some trouble, some friction with somebody, it will happen, it is bound to happen. Yes. And the last one is even more interesting, that your mind is bound to give you trouble. You know one personality called Prahlad Maharaj. Who knows? Who have heard about Prahlad Maharaj? Who have not heard about Prahlad Maharaj? That will be very interesting. Who have not heard who is Prahlad Maharaj? 1, 2, yeah. Okay. So Prahlad, Bhakta Prahlad. Bhakta Prahlad, you know? Yes. So this is Prahlad Maharaj. We call it Prahlad Maharaj. Maybe my terminology was wrong. So Bhakta Prahlad was the son of Hiranyakashipu. Okay, so we sing prayers. Today also we will sing after the class. So Prahlad Maharaj or Bhakta Prahlad, he quoted a very wonderful thing. That in this world, your trouble starts the moment you try to become successful. The moment you try to become successful, your trouble starts. Not to I see a lot of places, what is this? It is very anti-economy statement. Yes. Yeah. But you see, so say for example, today you decide that you want to achieve something. Achieve something means you want to become an entrepreneur. Okay, or you want to become a academician, any material goal you decide. So the moment you decide that, correct? At that moment your struggle starts. Yes? And some of you only told me, yes? Happiness is the absence of struggle. Isn't it? Yeah? So I will not too much drag this because you will think that okay, we are just talking the sadistic talks, how bad this world is and everything is so. So no, so that is not the objective. I was just trying to convey a message that lot of things what we see outside, yes, is not real. See, every beautiful thing which you see outside is advertised. That's why you look at it as a beautifully designed, but it is not. Okay? It is driven by a lot of commercial angles. Yes? So then the question is that how you define happiness? What is the fundamental of happiness? See this scale which is -5 to +5. Correct? We cannot say that being at 0 is happiness. 0 is positive, but it is neutral. Yes? Our struggle is so much to come from -5 to 0 that we feel कि 0 तक आ गए तो we are done. Yes? But there is a possibility that there can be a 0 to +5 also. Isn't it? Think about it. Yes? So the way I define it, or the way I have learned it, yes? So happiness has to be a factor which is permanent. If it is not permanent, it is not happiness. It can't be. Yes? Because if I give you, say for example, if somebody enters in a room which is very luxurious and all, correct? That is stay here. Yeah? But with that I will give information that after 2 hours I will pull you out. So at that moment your mood will go off. Isn't it? Yes? So happiness should be permanent. That should be minimum with that. It is small or big or whatever, it should be permanent. Yes? Like Vatsalya, yes? Like Vatsalya, you understand what is Vatsalya? Vatsalya means motherly attachment to the kids. Yes? That attachment, the kind of attachment mother has with their kids, it's relatively better definition of, a mother is always sweetly attached to their kids, whatever they do. Yes? It is permanent. At least in this life it is permanent. Relatively higher proportion it is having. I'm just giving an example. There are some higher elements also. Yeah, I will go there a bit late. Yeah. But happiness should be permanent. Yeah. So what are the factors with whom we relate? Let's go a bit more deeper. Okay, listen. These are all in the because I remember all these slides because I speak on this quite often. So what are the factors what we relate to happiness? Let's count those. In our day-to-day life, where we connect ourselves to happiness. Which are factors? So wealth, one, without a doubt, it is one of the factors. Yes. What else? Health, yes, two. What else? Sorry, achievements, yes. Relationships, yes. Beauty, yes. What else?
Peace of mind.
Peace, yes. Strength, yes. Power, fame, yes. So these are the factors which we relate to happiness. Yes. So what scriptures are saying? So what is the problem? See, you see that a lot of people who have that, yes. Yeah, you have most of these things, yes. So if you take a couple of examples, let's say who can be the most known one? Okay, Steve Jobs. Yes, everyone knows Steve Jobs. Right? So he had a lot of credits on his on his name. Yes, a lot of contribution to the technology and yes, his personal life was very bad. Yes, it was very complicated and I read that book of his autobiography. It's very painful. Very, very painful. Very sad life he lived on his personal front. Yeah, and you find it everywhere. Like he's just not the only example. Yeah. So you see this top class for what we are running behind. Even there, we find the serious top class problems also. Yes, you need to see that being spiritual is not means being poor. Okay, that's just because the first time here. I want to clarify it for once and for all. Yes, yes. Arjuna was not poor. Yes, Arjuna was not unskilled. कि कुछ काम नहीं है तो बैठ के माला करता है. No, Arjuna was very skilled. Yes, he was the most skilled person on the earth when he was on this earth. Isn't it? He was known everywhere. He had fame, beauty, wealth, every single thing what a person can desire of. Yes. And Sudama was very poor, extremely poor, but both were equally happy. So we need to understand. So we need to understand that there is something we are missing. See, the objective of these classes, yes, is wake you up. Look at the life from a different tangent. And trust me, it's worth doing. Don't look at things. See that in Bangalore or everywhere in this on this earth you go. How many of you been to US anytime in your career? Sometimes. There's a couple of them, yes. Yeah. So I have been very close to United States for a long time in my career. So this entire world is looking from their eyes. Yeah. So this capitalistic vision, yes, they have only one objective. Either you become consumer or you make other people consumer. This is their mantra. And this is what they preach, drink, breathe, eat, everything. This is the philosophy of capitalism. Correct? And this capitalism is being fed to us very strongly. And trust me, if you run behind capitalism only, yes, you won't become happy. You can write it on the paper that on this day we discussed and we announced that capitalism only cannot bring you happiness. That is granted. Because they are also not happy. They are also 67% divorce rate, this, that, disease, cancer, this, everything is shuttered. Every second person is running under the debt. Everyone is running, credit cards and they are in a completely perplexed state. They don't know what to do. That's why they do, okay, for me the happiness is shopping. This is the fact. I have seen it very closely. And this is what they are implanting to us. I was reading some article a few days back. There is something called retail therapy. When you are depressed, then you do Amazon browsing and buy something. These are very smart. They are capitalists. They will do anything just to because that is their job. That is their this thing. And the whole framework is defined like this. Which is a trap. Trust me on this. Yeah. See, we as Indians are very lucky. Yes, because we have those things written in our scripture that what is that missing factor? What was the common factor between Arjuna and Sudama? What was the common? I mean, it's easy to guess, correct? Yeah?
Association with Krishna.
Yeah, so association and Krishna, these are the words we will use bit later, maybe in class 4 or class 5. Yes, it's the first class. Yes, so I don't want to repeat too much Krishna because you will think ISKCON wala hai Krishna ke bare mein baat karega. Yes, but you need to understand that spirituality. Let's go to the personalized form of spirituality a bit later. But spirituality is important. So if we don't have time, yes, if we don't have a minimal time, अगर हमारे पास 10 मिनट भी नहीं है एक दिन में 24 hours, if we don't have a serious, again I will reframe my words, if we don't have a serious 10 minutes for our own self, we will continuously be getting more and more trapped into capitalism and we will be having more and more EMIs in our life. Trust me. More and more EMIs. Okay. So more and more troubles. Because capitalism will cover you from all the sides. If you don't have even 10 minutes. Yes? And what I mean, see that spirituality is not a hobby class. This is what I have understood when I was in college. It's not a guitar session. Yes, which many youngsters get inspired by watching movies and all. Yes, चलो वो यार मैं भी guitar बजाऊंगा. Yes, and you get enrolled in a guitar class. In couple of days you buy a guitar also. Yes, and then put it in your room, then on the wall, then on the storeroom. Yes, and then someday again you pull it out. Something like it happens in a lot of houses, correct? Yeah. So spirituality is not like that. Spirituality is not a ritual also. See, how many of you have Bhagavad Gita in your house? How many are reading it? Because see, we distribute Bhagavad Gita very often. Bhagavad Gita, we have 1 month, entire month, December, we call it Bhagavad Gita Marathon. Because we go to the streets, we go house to house and tell them. I met so many people, we met so many people, everyone tells, है हमारे पास मैं पूछूं क्या करते हो so पढ़ते हैं कभी कभी and trust me, people do everything with Bhagavad Gita other than what should be done with the book. For what a book is made for? Reading. We do everything else. We put on the head, here, हाथ जोड़ते हैं. We put a red kapda, we do agarbatti, we do a lot of things in Bhagavad Gita. We think by doing this it will go in your head. Isn't it? We think like that. I don't know who taught you. I really don't know. See that everything is you all are educated individuals. I assume that most of you are working in good corporates here and there, yes. Everything is so systematically designed, yes. I mean most of you will be engineers here, correct? Yes. Bangalore IT, Accenture, Cognizant, this all will come here. Yes. So everything is so systematically designed, yes. When it comes to capitalism, when it comes to business processes and all. अपना कुछ होता है क्या? No. You have to put effort and then it goes into your brain. As a student or as a on the job training or whatever it is called, correct? Why we take spirituality so cheap? Why we take so cheap? कुछ नहीं करेंगे. ये decided है. Not put any effort. Yeah? जैसे when I was a kid, there was a and I think I belong to at least one generation before, yes. So and this guy हमारी माता है. Yes, you heard about it? Yeah. In North में lot of people have. गाय हमारी माता है. Yeah, you've heard? और हमको कुछ नहीं आता है. Yes? This is fact. हम गाय हमारी माता है और इसके आगे हमें कुछ नहीं आता है. This is fact. This is so right. So many people tell there's so many issues around cow protection. What we know about cows? Nothing. What do you know about this? Okay, I asked you another question. See this. See so when I talk to people, yes, I want to be very candid. My job is to wake up people. Yeah, I don't want to see. I have all the reasons to talk to you very calm and in that mood which will please your senses. Yes, my job is to wake people. I'm so sorry if I disappointed you here. Yes. So tell me, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the difference? Who will tell? So how many people know? Raise the hand. Difference between Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. We are proud Hindus. गर्व से कहो. So why we should be गर्व? Why we should have this proud that गर्व से कहो हम Hindu? Even if you want to make it a more secular side, okay, I'm okay to debate on that also. But tell me.
Which history?
So how many know what is Bhagavad Gita, what is Srimad Bhagavatam? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you must be knowing because you are 50 plus. So 50 plus people know usually. Okay. So here who is knowing? Okay. You tell me what is Bhagavad Gita, what is Bhagavatam?
Bhagavatam will tell about the Lord Vishnu. Where he has come from the avatar 1 to.
Okay.
And Bhagavad Gita is how we have to live.
Okay. Good. Relatively right answer. You should clap for it. From anybody? Yes.
So is Bhagavad Gita?
You are heard this con?
Yeah.
So you can't answer. You are assured this con? No, please.
Bhagavad Gita is as the name explains, is the song of Lord Krishna. It has been addressed to Arjuna, but it is a teaching for the whole world.
Perfect.
And Srimad Bhagavatam is about the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna.
Very nice. Mother, you have heard this con somewhere. You must have heard it.
But the
Yeah. So this is a copied answer. I don't know. Anyways, okay, but we will still clap for Mother. Okay, just to at least I am not sure how many people will turn up in the next class. Yes. But still, as my this class key takeaway, there are two scriptures very important for us. Yes, one is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yes, and another is Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. They are two different books. Please remember this and teach whoever you know. At least. Yes? So Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. Yes? Where Krishna is given instruction to Arjuna when being completely successful materially, skilled, he still fell into a dilemma. It was the last part of our today's thing. He was still in dilemma. What should I do? And Krishna systematically explained to him that what you should be doing and how you should be living. So Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters and 700 shlokas. Yes? And these 18 chapters are divided into 3 parts. First 6, second 6, third 6. Yes? So in the first 6, Krishna explains what is the overall structure of human life. It is the most unbiased book. It is not written for a Hindu, Muslim, Christian or anybody else. It is equally applicable for every single person who has taken birth as a human being. It is not a secular book. It is not a book of Hindus only. It is property for every single person on this earth. Whoever will read it, there is no bias. There is no word Hindu in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Yes? So first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita plain explain you that what is the structure. And it explains about the Karma Yoga. So there is a lot of misconception around the Karma Yoga. Yes? Karma kiye ja. Yes? Lot of people say, Karma kiye ja, this, that, and then they feel that Karma hi puja hai. You heard this? slogan. It is a wrong slogan. It's a wrong slogan. कहीं नहीं लिखा है भगवत गीता में कि कर्म ही पूजा है, ऐसा कोई श्लोक नहीं है भगवत गीता में, even in Sanskrit also. Yeah? These are misfeeds, fake stories. Yeah? Middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they primarily explain you what is the bhakti, what is the devotional service. So bhakti is translated as devotional service. The middle 6 chapters. Yes? And the last 6 chapter explains what is nature and how this nature works and how we should be acting in that entire flow. So this is the structure of Bhagavad Gita. This is purely Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? So we'll just finish in a minute. At the last pointer, say for example, if I want to know you, yes, if I want to know any individual, or if you want to know me, yes, what 3 things we should be doing, or how you will define a person?
Name, occupation, and place of.
That is a very external knowing. Yes, मोदी जी दिल्ली में वहाँ पर रहते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री हैं, correct? It doesn't mean that we know what is Modi ji, correct? Other than he is being Pradhanmantri. Correct? Knowing means knowing the person. Yeah?
Nature, attitude, person's attitude.
Identity,
So-
behavior, and
Yes. So how you will know that? When the person will tell you, correct? If you have that kind of connect. Yes. So try to understand that spirituality has an objective. This we will discuss more in next few classes and all. Spirituality has an objective. What is that objective for us? What is the objective for us? That one thing which was missing, we were discussing in the past, correct? Like our beauty, fame, strength, wealth, health, whatever, all those things, they all are zeros of our life. They all are zeros for us. Because even though you have it, but you don't have that consistently or constantly, you can't become happy even if you have that, correct? It will come up and down, hota rahega, and then it will become profitable for you, correct? But against that multiple zeros, so you have 6 zeros with you. Yes, or maybe 10 zeros with you. Yes? But if you put 1 ahead of that zeros, then all those zeros becomes your strength, correct? Yes?
yes.
So why Arjuna is known as Arjuna? Why Sudama is known as Sudama? Because of their devotion, correct? Yes? So look at the renunciation of the Arjuna. What was his heart, correct? Yes? So when, just before the Mahabharata, I know most of you know this story, correct? So that when Duryodhana and Arjuna, they both went there, correct? So Duryodhana took a political decision. Yes? And this is what we do. Yes? We take a political call. So see, you must have observed yourself many times. So when you go in front of deities Archa Vigraha, yes? Idols. When you go in front of the idols, many times, yes? When you go there, and we sincerely fold our hands and pray something and all. Yes? So after say 30 minutes of that prayer, you ask yourself or somebody else, what Lord was wearing? कैसा ड्रेस पहना था? माला का कलर कैसा था? How was the garland? No, you can't. Because you are not praying. You are reading your list. Isn't it? You are reading your list. अभी ये बाकी इधर प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है, इधर कैश बाकी है. Yes? And you are reading your list in your mind, yes? Isn't it? It's so normal, yes? It is not, yes? So, this Kali Yuga mentality, yes? This is how it happens, yes? And because if you are not spiritually awake, it's bound to happen. There is no fault. Yeah. So Duryodhana it has been said he is a personified example of Kali Yuga. Duryodhana, completely self-centered and living only for self. That was like Duryodhana's character was. Yes. So he took a political stand. Yes. Krishna is a king, and if his entire power comes to me, then what is the use of Krishna? Yes? And Arjuna was completely non-political. He has taken this decision out of love. Yes? So objective of this whole thing, yes, objective of spirituality is to develop a loving relationship with Lord. Understand this. See, in this material world, we gain happiness out of loving relationships. Correct? Loving relationship. And those relationships get spoiled over the period because we mix it with our own personal agenda or somebody else makes it. That's why the relationships are not perfect. Yes? But spirituality, the objective of spirituality is developing a loving relationship with the Lord. See, it's a very big thing. Yes? So say for example, if you want to meet a mayor of Bangalore, if you want to meet him, how you will meet? You have to talk to the secretary, you go to there 10 times, put some request, and then you should be having a genuine reason. Correct? I will ऐसे मिलना है आपसे. ऐसा you can't get it, correct? Yes, I just am here, I was walking here, so I will meet you. You can't do this, correct? You have to have a reason, correct? So see, if you want to meet a mayor, a normal person of this entire, world, एक छोटा सा, this entire world, there is a city called Bangalore, and Bangalore के अंदर there is some area where some person sitting on a small chair. You want to meet him, you need a reason, and you put a lot of effort to do that. And we want to meet Lord. We want to establish a relationship with Lord. Like that. Yes? Not even spending 10 minutes. It's not a deal. Yes? If you're thinking, see, he can meet. You see? He can meet. Mayor can call you. Come and meet. This I'm thinking I'm just milta hu. Yeah? So Krishna can meet. He can choose you if you want. We need to think why he will. Yes. That's a different thing. Yeah, but he can if you want. Yeah. But us, we have to have a structure. We have to have some efforts. Yes. And you see, it is said that if we put one step towards the Lord take 10 steps. Yes. And understand there is a difference between your step and Lord's step. Yes? Your steps are tiny, is also very big. Yes? Just but Lord's step, in 2.5 steps, he conquered the entire Vamandev have conquered the entire world in 2.5 steps. Who would have 10 steps will come. Yes? But that one step we should be, because it's a relationship, correct? Relationship has to be two ways, yes? So Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, why these things are written? So any personality has three things. Any person, me as a person, most of you are meeting me first time, yes? Yes? So any personality has three segments to understand. One is what he speaks. Correct? Second is what he does. Yes? And third is what he wants. If you know these three things about anybody, you know that person completely. I can speak something else. Right? While I'm sitting here giving class on Bhagavad Gita, and tomorrow you find me in some pub. Correct? You will, what is this? Isn't it? So my action and my word doesn't match. Yes? And then you're not trying to know what I'm thinking, isn't it? Just forget it. What I'm thinking is gone. Yes? Yeah? But if you know somebody, but you know what I mean, correct? Yes? So, what you speak, what you do, and what you want. These three things explains the Lord's entire personality. So Bhagavad Gita is what?
What he speaks.
What he speaks. It's a Gita. Yes? So whatever is written in Bhagavad Gita is not for Lord. It is for you and me. Isn't it? Because he is telling what you should be doing, not what he should be doing. Because he owns everything, correct? So he tells you or me that how you should be living. So if you don't know what is written there, obviously you will make some mistakes, right? Yes. And then what you will do, you will develop manodharma. Yes. So you see a lot of people do different positioning in the temples. Yes. It is not guaranteed that they have learned it somewhere. Yes. So some people do some agarbatti, some people do some different sort of namaskara, some people do some asanas, a lot of things, people do a lot of things, correct, in the temple. It is not, हो सकता है मैंने मन से बना लिया ऐसा कुछ, because they feel good about it. It's called manodharma. It might not have written in the scriptures. You want to become a doctor and you study engineering book. Do I like it? I like to read it. You can read it. There's nobody stopping you. But then you won't become a doctor, or vice versa. Yeah. So say if I ask somebody that okay, I'm thirsty, please get me some water. Correct? And that person brings me lassi to drink. It is better than water. Because I think it is better than water. He may think, but I need water. I'm thirsty, and only water will be helpful. Yes, this is what we do. We don't read. We don't spend time on our spiritual life. Yes, and then we do experiments with our spiritual life. Yes, lot of time because we don't know. Yes, मन ही मन चल रहा है, ऐसा कर रहे हैं, गाय को भी रोटी दे दिया, कुछ भी कर लिया, whatever comes in the mind, we'll do that. Yes, but it is very simple. The spiritual life is very simple. The problem is we don't like simple. We like complicated things. Software, उसके अंदर कुछ this, that, bug, ये, वो, all that, Then it is, Yes? We need complicated and fast. Spiritual life is simple and slow. That's the problem. We need fast. Amazon Prime. Now, fresh, abhi. For them, they will tell Amazon before. You think before that they will tell you something. Isn't it? Because we need fast. So we need complicated things and fast things. This is our demand. Spiritual life is simple and slow. Because slow things are blissful. Yeah? You can't love somebody fast. Doesn't match. A mother cannot love the child fast. No. Isn't it? It's slow. Yes, it's slow. It's with emotions, correct? So spiritual life is the combination of simplicity and the slow process. Slow process means consistency, which is against capitalism. Capitalism is fast. Yes, it's we are slow only. Yes, we reach 2 hours to reach office and all that. Okay, that's a different thing. Yeah. So Bhagavatam. So this is Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna speaks, and Bhagavatam is what Krishna do. So if you want to know Krishna, you need to first read what he's saying, and then later on you need to understand what he does. What are those different avatars? What he does? What is his personal life? So Bhagavatam is Krishna's personal life. Yes. And there is another book. Maybe once you reach to that layer, it is called Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes. That book explains what Krishna wants. Even that. Imagine the book which explains what Lord wants. And then, you get trained by that time. What is to be done, what is not to be done. So it is not important to know what is to be done. It is important to know what is not to be done. Yes? Then automatically the rest of things you do is normal. Yes? So if you you really want to become happy, if you have intent to become happy, the summary of today is the first. It might be a bit overwhelming for a lot of you, but the summary is that you need to add spirituality. That is the only message. And spirituality to be added in a more organized manner. Come on, I mean, this is like everything we do so in such an organized manner. Why to cut the corners in spirituality? Why we don't have a pattern? Why we don't have a sincere effort toward following something which is so crucial to our life? Yes. So we should be putting our genuine effort, whatever time you have. Trust me, even if you have 5 minutes. Yes. Even if you have just 5 minutes, it's okay. But those 5 minutes should be proper. It should not be because my father has taught me कि सुबह नहाने के बाद मैं just put some agarbatti or do some ritual and that's why I'm doing it. You won't be able to do it for long. Because you don't understand the context. Yes? But if you give a bit of effort, like this effort, yes, this is a very beautiful gesture from all of you. I think most of you have been to our Janmashtami tournaments. All of you. Anybody who was not in Janmashtami and today here, I think everybody from Janmashtami with my guesses. Yes? So, see, then why you all have been to Janmashtami? Yes? Because you carry some impressions, yes, from your family, from some, yes? Maybe you're from your parents or whatever learnings you have. Yes? And this one gesture of yours, yes, where you have taken one step. Yes? Lord has arranged it, yes. You have taken one step, like on a Sunday evening, you have taken pain to go to temple. Yes, you can't tell it to all of your friends also. Because we are such a bad shape. Yes? But still you did it, correct? Yes? How many youngsters will go and tell कि मंदिर गया था मैं? Yes? They won't tell. Yes? So but you have taken that humble gesture to come all the way on a Sunday evening. Yes? And I personally see that Lord reciprocates through such satsangas to tell them that what is to next. Yes? So you take steps and then Lord reciprocates even more. You understand it more. This is how it happened with us. All the volunteers, what you see here, this is common with everybody. The same process. Yeah. So my humble request to all of you that usually I see the dropouts, after a couple of sessions, a lot of things people have in their personal life and they will keep on coming and going at different occasions and all. But since you are here right now at this moment, don't take spirituality ever as a hobby class. That is my humble request to all of you. It's a very important thing for our own life. Very, very important thing. Okay? Give it a sincere try. Yes? And this will change. This is that one which you are seeking around all of your zeros. This one is that spirituality. Yes? And you can make it strong. Yes? So there is what I usually call it, there is the ABCD of spirituality. The A for association. Yes, you tell me who is your friend, I will tell you who you are. Yes. So, without a proper association, you can't grow in spiritual life. It's not possible. Because one who is on the path can tag you along. And then when you grow, you can tag along somebody else. And this is how the entire ISKCON movement has taken a shape around the world. Yes. So association is must. Yes. And this is association. That's it. Coming once a week to temple. This is the minimum we should be doing with our life, correct? Coming to temple once a week and meet people and discuss about Krishna, about spirituality. A. It's B. B is book. The book is Bhagavad Gita. We should read Bhagavad Gita. whatever, one shloka done, no problem. Yes. C is chanting, which we'll do now, one round. Yes. After this thing, so japa or chanting, whatever we call, So one round of chanting, it takes 7 minutes. Just 7 minutes. So in our entire 24 hours, 10 minutes, we cannot give 7 minutes for japa and at least one round and do some prayers. We can do, it's not a difficult thing. Yeah. In ISKCON, most of the devotees who are initiated and who are following, we do 16 rounds every day. 16 rounds for us is almost 1 hour 50 minutes every day. We are also doing jobs, we are also managing family. We are also doing that. We are not saying, we are not requesting you to do 16 rounds on day 1, but it is possible. Yes. And D for two things. D for diet. So eat prasad as much as you can. Eat prasad. So prasad means we will be serving prasad here also. Anything, patram, pushpam, phalam, any fruit you can offer and you can eat. Or whenever you come to temple, you can eat prasad as much as you can. Yes. And D for darshan. Take a sincere darshan to the Lord. So do these 4 things and your life will be set. So this program is having all those four components. Yes? It has association, it has a scripture reading. At least you can start with once a week, and then gradually, as the time will pass, you will learn more. Yes? Hare Krishna. So I think we just 10 minutes overboarded. We wanted to finish at 6:30, 6:35. But I will just take a minute if anyone has any question, 1 or 2 questions we might be able to.
I have tried many times to go through the Bhagavad Gita, but after a few shlokas, my interest is diminished. I mean, I don't understand it much.
Yeah. So it's normal because the subject matter is a bit deeper. And that's why we arrange these systematic courses. So it's like for everything to understand, we need a basic understanding, correct? So if you want to learn a 12th class maths, you need to know first, second, third, fourth, fifth. All of a sudden you open some book and you will feel I can read it but I can't understand it. Right? It is something like that, yes. So similarly, for many people, directly reading the Bhagavad Gita, after a couple of shlokas, they get bewildered. Okay, they can't correlate what is Karma Yoga, how it is connected and all. So that's why the association is important. Okay, so that they can systematically teach you. Okay, this is the structure. Okay, this is how it has been, designed. And then wherever you get confusion, you can there ask somebody. Okay, this is I have not understood it. How it works. How mode of mental nature works, a lot of things there. So it is always better to understand it in a more structured format. On its own, as I said, we develop this monodharma, and then it gets on the back seat. Any other question?
But earlier, I had a lot of books, but now I don't have any books. Maybe Bhagavad Gita but why I don't have books? Because a lot of online materials are available. So it's not even for reading, for viewing and listening. So most of them now give importance to listening and maybe a video also, because that helps us to grab time. So which one we should follow? We should read.
Yeah, see, the important thing is that acquiring knowledge with the proper source. That is more important. Yes. So right now we're discussing something, yes, around the scripture. It is as good as reading only. Because we are reading something which is relevant. We are discussing something which is relevant. So if the source is legitimate, then it is giving you the right sort of information which you should be getting, then it is as good as it is. So somebody hear some lecture. So I also hear at times a lecture with some senior sannyasi or that explaining something about the scriptures and all. So we also hear it as good as reading is also. But the cross reference to that with the Bhagavad Gita is important. So at the end of the day, it should not have. It should not happen. See, this horizontal thinking is easy. कोई video देख लिया कभी, this is easy. But this vertical thinking is important. So you took the Bhagavad Gita and you know that okay, this is written in Bhagavad Gita and you know systematically you have studied over the period. It might take a year, 2 years, jaldi kya hai? This is slow, yes. You know, there is no job there, correct? Yeah, but that effort should be there.
His understanding Tathparya is good, or we have to buy half the sloka. How is that?
Oh, not mandatory. I don't remember all the slokas of Bhagavad Gita. I remember some of them which are like which maybe click me better, but it's not mandatory. It's good. We have one devotee. He's not here today, Shanmukh Prabhu. He joined like around a year back, and then he taken a vow to remember every single sloka of Bhagavad Gita. So now he's on I think 9th chapter. So the first chapter, neither he remember every single. He's from I think he's from IIT Chennai and work for Qualcomm. And he has this habit of learning shlokas and all. So some people do that. There's no wrong in that, but it's not mandatory. See, understanding is important. That what it is saying and how I should be behaving on based upon that. But just remembering only will not help. The execution of that is the most important. Yes. So I think we'll pause here. I hope that we'll be able to meet more in the next coming weeks. What we will do that we will try to chant one round. Yes, we'll try to chant one round. It should take 5 to 7 minutes altogether. We'll try to. You try to chant with the pace with I chant. Otherwise, it will take 15 minutes for people. Yeah, so 5 to 7 minutes we will try to chant one round. After that, we will call all the kids from upstairs. Yes, they might have also done some exercise and for a minute they will show, and then we will have Aarti. Okay, so the entire thing will go for another 20 minutes or so. Yes, if any one of you is having any other question, if you want to discuss with me, just after the Aarti, when we will be Prashadam time will be, then we can discuss it. So once you finish the japa, then please hand over this mala back to the volunteers. So this mala, what you are going to get, correct? This japa bead. Yeah? So this is structured in such a way. It has 108 beads. Most of you must be knowing, correct? And then there is a central bead, yes? One big bead and then this. We should not use this finger. For japa, we should not use this pinpointing finger. We should not use. Okay? So we should use our right hand, this thumb and this. So this is the positioning, correct? This. Yes? Yeah. So usually what it is said that this mala is 108 beads. Yes? And here is Krishna. Yes? And 108, there are 108 Upanishads. There are 108 prime gopis of Krishna. Yes? And it is just like we go to each and every gopi or each and every pure devotee of Krishna and pray that engage us in the service of Lord. That is the objective. So every mantra when we chant, yes, is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is one mantra. So 108 times we chant this mantra. Yes, and every time our objective is to pray that we become better in our spiritual life. Yes? Usually if you do it at home, it will take you initially it might take 8.5 minutes. We are doing it for quite some years, so we take usually 6.5 minutes. Usually. Okay? So everyone got the beats? And you will see, look, when you chant one round, how many of you are chanting for the first time? Many of you, yes? So you will see that doing something right and doing something slow, how difficult it is. Your mind will wait that when this round is going to finish. Trust me on this. Because mind like anxiety. Yes, spice. Yes. Mind like everything with excites. Yes. Spicy food, action, violence, yes, gossiping, all those things. We are used to that in politics, hatred. This is the mind's rasa. This is the rasa of mind. Calmness, peace. We talk about all those things, but we don't like it. And we will see this now. Yes? So for next 7-8 minutes, this will be a war with our own mind. Yes? So our objective should be that when we chant, we try to hear our own voice as much as we can. Okay? Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur. And now so you try to chant with my pace. We should all be chanting together. Okay, in the same pace. Some people up and down is fine, but we should try to complete it in 7 minutes also. Okay, it's 6:55, and I think by 7:02 we should be able to complete the round. Okay. So you remember, yes, you need to try to hear what the sound you are producing. So you should be loud enough to hear yourself, not the distant people. Yes. So start. Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna